everybody, my Buffalo buddies. This is Billy Sheehan, your bass player. And you're listening to me right here on Heard It on the X.
Hi, folks. Welcome back to Heard It on the X, the East Coast premier music talk show. Listening to a little bit of the Fountain there. These guys will be joining us in just a little bit. I want to remind everybody, our friends over at Club Infinity today have a show. Saga is actually playing there, and it's their only U.S. date. They're heading for a sold-out European tour after this.
If I could pick anywhere to have one U.S. date, I would say Buffalo.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Club Infinity is great, too. I love those guys. They're big sponsors of the show. They're bringing in your boy Tim Reynolds.
Yeah, my boy Tim Reynolds is going to be there in 2 weeks.
Show starts at 8:30, doors at 7, so if you got nothing to do on this rainy day, head over to Club Infinity and tell those guys we said hi, okay? And I want to welcome the guys from the Found Down. How you doing, men?
Hey, Rich.
Brian, Ben, and Tom are with us. I was looking at your disc here, and Matt Smith recorded some of this for you, right?
Indeed, yes.
Yeah, Matt's, I think the world of Matt. I just think he's a wonderful, wonderful guy. He's a great guitar player. I don't know if you've heard him play.
Oh, most definitely, yeah. We go back.
Yeah.
And, very comfortable little studio out there. It's very, very tranquil. Loft of a barn in the middle of Eden, overlooking some vineyards, and, much different than a lot of studio atmospheres that you'll get anywhere else.
Yeah, where you're just like
Otherwise
an industrial complex or something, or...
And you walk outside and it's like,
Might get
cars
stabbed.
whizzing by. Yeah.
This is your third album. Did he work on the other ones with you, or
No, we kind of make a point to work with someone different every time, just to do it.
Yeah.
It's a good adventure. It's good.
I was telling Rich earlier when we were talking about having you guys on a couple years ago. I don't know. You probably remember. You had the
Fender.
Rich had a Fender event at the store. You guys played it.
Sure.
Did
Oh,
that.
right on, yeah.
I remember you guys were actually my favorite band at that event.
Thank you.
And I caught your. You guys gave me your first CD, and I lost that CD by now. But I remember I listened to that CD like full on through for a couple weeks there.
Yeah, your performance was incredible. And I got to say, honestly, I think the world of Fender, and we're huge. I don't mean this to come out wrong, but I really think they scammed a lot of people on that event. I mean, the reason why is we were told the rules were you videotape a band and that's it. There were a lot of people who put professional videos in on that thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we went up there and looked, and there was a lot
it's
of
like
well-produced.
Is this an MTV video that somebody put in there or something? It's supposed to be bands performing live.
Well, there was actually a lot of signed national/regional acts that were involved in that, and it was kind of like, huh.
I didn't follow it to the end,
need?
but I think someone told me that like a signed Nashville act won it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It was a female vocalist?
Yeah. Exactly. With a $45,000 video. I mean, it's like
They already had guitars and everything. I don't think they.
That's almost as much as we spent on the album.
We were just like you said. We were in a barn with a stage. That's how we did it.
Well, I mean, and when they presented the idea, that's what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of a little unfair, and I think the Buffalo bands were better. You guys were excellent that day. Your music. It's hard to classify people's music, and I don't even like classifying if it's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
But if we were to classify your music, you guys seem to have a lot of flavor from years gone by, in my opinion. For young guys, you seem to be more influenced by 70s and late 60s rock, from what I've seen. I mean, is that a fair assessment? Do you think?
Most definitely.
Yeah. You guys seem to have this real vintage vibe. I think would be
a little Spencer Davis group, a little. Humble Pie.
Yeah.
We just...
You guys grew up listening to that? Those were your influences?
For myself, yes. I'm pretty sure for everyone, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of classic rock, blues, soul.
Yeah.
From families, rock and roll families, so it's kind of, I grew up, listening to my dad's vinyls.
Yeah.
And that's just what sounded right to me.
Did you guys grow up with players in your art?
Yes.
Yes. I didn't.
I didn't, but I'm super into vinyl now. That's all I get.
Just vinyls?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They sound so much better, I think.
They sound amazing.
Sure. Yeah, it's a shame. But even the way music's delivered, in a lot of ways I feel so bad for what you guys are faced with, because the way the industry is so different now than it's ever been. And in some ways I think, it might be cool, but in other ways it's like digital downloads and iPods and stuff like...
It's funny because it's like, sometimes it can help, and you think it'd be easier because we don't need a record label. We could do it ourselves.
Sure, yeah.
We get our music out there that way. And at the other hand, everyone could do that. So we just joined, a group of a lot more people.
Right, and like you say, it's harder for as bad as corporate radio is. If you're one of the lucky ones that can break through and be highlighted on something like that, you've got a lot better chance. Right now, the field is so full of so many people. It's really difficult. So how does one get your CDs?
We have a website called thefoundsound.com, and there's links off of there. You can buy the CDs through that. You can buy them digitally. We've actually embraced that to a point, and have our album available digitally as well. So they can get it through. It's all through the website.
All through your website.
And then we'll have the CDs at Record Theater. That CD you're holding right there just came out literally about 2 weeks ago. So we'll have them at the Record Theaters. We'll have them at a place called Spiral Scratch down on Bryant Street in downtown Buffalo.
How's the album been received? You get a lot of tunes on this album too. You got 14 tunes.
Yeah.
That's a lot of tunes for.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
It's going over really well with people. It's definitely our most ambitious musically, compared to that first record we were just talking about. This one's really all over the board. I mean, there's some instrumental stuff that, you'd never expect us to have even touched maybe two years ago. So it's really expanded in multiple different directions.
So you can really sense the growth of the band itself, or you guys as players, which is
absolutely. And I think that came with we had added a percussionist. We started experimenting with other instruments. Like there's a sitar we just heard on that clip. There's a flute on this album. Our keyboard player who isn't here is he's delved into things like a fiddle that we haven't yet touched. But so we're trying to touch a little bit of everything. Yeah, there's a lap steel on the record that he plays.
Really
Inward singing. Stuff like that,
That's
There are
great.
no rules in music.
And we all sing. We all sing lead vocals. So the direction of the tunes can go a lot of different ways, because I might write a song with the style, and same as Tom and Ben and Harold and Nate.
How long have you guys been together as a band?
This lineup,
2 years. Yeah.
2 years?
Yeah.
The band as a whole has been like 8 now, right?
Yeah, Harold and I, he's our keyboard player. We actually started in high school, but it's changed a lot throughout the years, to this lineup, which is the best. So
a lot of bass player changes, and then
bass player.
and then Harold used to be the guitar player.
Yeah, and he
I
switched
joined the
over.
group. We were a dual guitar player group, and then he switched to organ, and then we added a percussionist just recently.
Yeah.
We added a percussionist for the intention of our second CD release show, and then he just stuck with us right through.
Kept them on.
Yeah.
That's great, though.
Nate,
Yeah, he's
a
excellent.
Good friend. Nate and I went to school together. We played in band and everything. So super natural. It sounds really good with him.
Great taste, good looks.
So
Yeah.
you were a drummer in high school?
Oh yeah, all throughout. I started in 4th grade.
Let me ask you a technical question. Your drumming style, you play open.
Yeah.
Did they try to get you to stop doing that, not playing, because you don't play
I
cross-handed?
never did anything they told me to. I was just there because I liked music. I used to make up my own parts, not read the music, give my band teacher, a heart attack. So
They didn't press you on that?
no, because somebody mentioned it one time, and I was like, well, Jimi Hendrix. Not that I'm anywhere on his level, but he didn't do it. He didn't play guitar technically the right way. So
Right.
So however you feel comfortable.
Yeah. I play drums the same way you do. That's the
Yeah.
reason why
You know
I
what?
asked.
It actually kind of makes sense just looking at it from an outsider's point of view. You're not getting all tangled up. And
I agree with. I think it leaves your snare drum hand open to
Yeah.
to do interesting things between the toms and the hi hat.
Yeah.
With the hi hat continually going. But in my case, I grew up in Evans and put Ted Nugent Free for All on in headphones. This is absolutely no lie.
Oh,
and that's and I had a drum set that. My sister knew a guy who moved to California, left a drum set in my house, and that's how I learned to play.
Oh yeah.
So-
Yeah. I watched a lot of videos, and I remember my senior year in high school, I just locked myself in my room and memorized Dave Grohl's parts and Queens of Stone Age and Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, it's it's so funny too that and I don't want to get on a boring thing for all the listeners, but I think the style of drums. First of all, I love the way you play drums, and I love your aggressive attack on the drums. But I think when you play the way you and I play, it tends to be. I think that bottom stuff. when you're playing open like that, you have a tendency to lead more with your foot as opposed to snare drum taking the important part of it.
Yeah.
So it makes it more wide open. I feel. I just think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, it's interesting. We just seen Jason Bonham, who's a conventional drummer and plays nothing like his dad.
Yeah, I saw some clips of that. I mean, he's a good drummer, but Bonham's one and only.
Yeah. You know, the funny thing about John Bonham, and I said this even at the show, John Bonham came from a period, much like you guys are bridging, 70s with modern times. Bonham came from a period of, Gene Krupa and Buddy Rich, drummers like that, and he just had this massive attack. When you're listening to him, he's playing very conventional jazz stuff or big band stuff from when he was a kid. He's just using it in a rock idiom, that's all.
Yeah, jazz is like a huge thing. I mean,
and Krupa's nasty, so...
Oh, my God, those guys were unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable.
Just sick.
I mean, if you put a guitar with Krupa, you pretty much have metal.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Exactly. Yeah.
And even, it's funny because when I was a kid, I used to watch Johnny Carson, which nobody even knows what that is anymore. But Buddy Rich would be on there, and he was so frustrating to me because he would freely say that he never practices, never ever practice. And I don't know if that was just a sales pitch or
He plays all the time.
Yeah, he was just so ferocious. I mean, just unbelievable. We're gonna take a commercial break, come back on the other side, and find out what's in future for the Founds. So stick around, folks.